second objective is a much more practical one, really, which is, well, how do I structure a self-starting day and keep motivated the whole week so that this treat doesn't then feel like torment as the weeks then go on. I found it hugely inspiring listening to the techniques that the Chilean miners, do you remember that? 2011, the 2011, the Chilean miners were stuck down in the dark with absolutely no idea if, when, how they were going to get rescued. And I found it really inspiring to listen to what they did to keep themselves sane and feeling okay. And in short, they invented a structure, they created a routine right from the very first day to keep everyone's energy, spirits and morale up. And I thought, what a fantastic lesson that potentially we could draw across now. So if you've got no idea what the next 12 weeks is going to look like, create some kind of structure as soon as you can so that you are not lost in the cracks, if that makes sense. You're still keeping that rhythm and then that energy. I and many others have found the 21 packets of time concept hugely useful. I can't think of a better way to think right now in terms of how to demarcate work and life and all the other aspects. And so it's about creating work-life boundaries immediately, because no one else is going to be able to give you the plan that works for you, because there's only you that has the particular set of challenges and opportunities that you have. So what is the 21 packets of time? 21 packets of time. Simply, we run a Gregorian calendar, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's 7 days, split across 3 chunks of conscious waking time. So morning, afternoon and evening, and then we have sleep. And even if you are a shift worker, you will have a concept of a chunk of time. The world gives us 21 meals a week. Whether you have breakfast when someone else has their dinner, then that's the way that your life works. But we have these chunks of time. If you're a full-time equivalent employee, then I have given my company 10 packets of time. So typically the Monday to Friday, morning and afternoon, and then that leaves 11 packets of time for me round the side. For all of those who are wishing for a little bit more time in our life, well, the universe has given us now more time. How do I spend and not fritter the fluid concept of time that has now just been given to many of us? So what do we do then to do that? So having a think about where are the low premium and the high premium chunks of time, and even just looking at how the week works out can provide some semblance of structure. Could it be that between you and your team, you structure in, however false, a reason to connect at the start of each chunk so that you feel like you've got something that's going to bring you back on track? And the reason that I have personally have found this so useful is that it helps me avoid work creeping into all areas of my life where I didn't want to. I may not enjoy writing that business proposal, but I'm going to enjoy it less sitting there when I should be relaxing on a Sunday evening. So how am I going to ensure that work, now time has become so fluid, that everything stays in the packet of time that works for me? And the optimum order for sustainable performance, so could this be an opportunity to work even better for yourself, is get the sleep that you need, get the food that you need, have a moment of quiet to yourself, investing time in a relationship, no matter how far away that might be, some kind of social interaction, exercise. I mean, there's some amazing stuff on the internet about ideas to exercise at home, and then work. So the 7 kind of orders is about what might I need to do while all is up in the air and work time is completely liquefied. How can I put in some structure that enables me to have the ultimate work-life boundary for myself? When I first put this together, of course, this is before the kind of the school's closing news is going to be. So it shall be intriguing to see how this all works, and I shall be offering some more lunch and learns for anyone that has found this in any way useful, to have a look at how we kind of integrate that as well. So how might I constantly choose to spend rather than fritter? Really simply, do the worst things first. They drag your attention away. Otherwise, it'll be even worse when you have to do it later anyway. Start each block of time confirming the main objective that you want achieved by the end. Ensure that you've shared and managed expectations around noise. So if you've got an important call that's coming up at 11, make sure everyone around you knows that at 11 o'clock you need to have a quiet area around you. Setting specific times aside to start or end a task can help avoid creep. So saying to yourself, okay, between 9:30 and 10:15, I am going to do that particular task. I found that using the fixed currency of the clock rather than the fluid measure of time, for example, 45 minutes to do this task, meant it was less easy for me to let time slip by. The more external cues you can put around you, even if it's around your own kitchen table, to help keep yourself in check, then the more productive you'll be within a smaller amount of time. Otherwise, it's 3 hours to do a big email, which actually is probably not the way that you want to be spending your time. I'm naughty by nature, and left to my own devices, then I'll spend ages looking at something that interests me and then suddenly go, I've got to do something that interests me less. So I discovered over the years that planning the day backwards was enough to jolt me into work mode, no matter how kind of groggy I was feeling or not up for work in the morning. So imagining a clear day ahead of all of this time that I can do tasks just didn't work for my psychology. I found it much more energizing to flip the day backwards and plan it backwards. What time do I want to be ending work? Okay, so what's the task I need to do before then? So suddenly that concept of work ahead meant that I was able to crack on and get into work mode and concentrate much quicker than thinking, oh right, it's 11 o'clock, I better settle down now. What I found quite fascinating is that for me, I find that energizing, that pressure. So to sit there at 9:05 and go, oh my gosh, if I don't do this now, I'm going to start being late already, even though that lateness wouldn't be felt until 5 o'clock. So I'm hoping that makes sense. Just flipping the day back to front was just a game changer in terms of ensuring that I cracked on with stuff, no matter how arduous, as soon as possible. And the benefit of that then is it means you're not sitting there till 8 o'clock at night still doing work because you've mucked around in the first half of the day. Chunking is something that a dear friend of mine, Joe James, taught me many years ago, which is I'm probably more likely to do calls one after the other more efficiently than 4 calls spread throughout the day. So when you're in call mode, slam through those calls. When you're in email mode, get into emails, and it's the quiet and the loud tasks. Whatever it is that you do in your normal working routine, I guess would work for you. But in particular, if there's no one else to kind of help chivvy you along, then you're going to need to be your own best boss. So chunking is where, rather than a whole list of things to do, in no particular order, is where you put similar tasks that require the same gear of thinking near each other. So in short, you're more likely to get through 10 calls more efficiently, doing them one after the other, than spreading them out throughout the day. So how do I structure a self-starting day and keep motivated the whole week? Well, let's channel the inspiration from other stories we've had, either in our own life or those around us, when there's been a complete change suddenly. The immediate structure of time, something like the 21 packets of time concept, can really help, however artificial, to create a reassuring framework, at least to start shaping your own one. Consciously choosing how to spend rather than fritter this new time that potentially we've got in front of us, so we can look back and think, I did as well as I could do with that time. And recreating a sense of urgency if, like me, you are prone to time creep, and something as simple as just planning the day backwards can really help when it's only you that is in charge and witnessing how productive you're going to be.